Shalom. Giving all the praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Bahashim, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth, and our truth is sincerity and in diligence. Shalom. And as you can see right here, I got these videos queued up, going into, this digital ID. All right, that, it's being rolled out fast, man, throughout the earth. All right, you got the UK doing it. You got, look, I just seen Canada is rolling out the digital ID for welfare recipients, man. Okay, so making it mandatory, which is like like we've been telling you that it's gonna bring you into a digital, slavery, So China, is doing it, all right, and we understand, that this is part of this devil's agenda to bring forth that MOTB, the RFID, all right. So this devil is rolling out his plans, man, and this is going to bring, Jake, to the mercy of Esau Edom, because look at this title. It says shocking update: digital ID is already U.S. law. No healthcare, banking, travel, internet without it. Now I'm gonna show you an article, that this right here in the U.S. now, man. Okay. So everybody is following suit, with the NWO, whether it be the Democrats or it be the Republicans. They all got the same agenda, because we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. So I'm gonna play these clips, and Lord willing, we can get some edification out of it. So, listen what this guy is saying, man. Yeah, we've been bringing this out and bringing this out. Well, we're bringing this out because these things are gonna happen in our lifetime. These things are gonna, take place on American soil, man. People are gonna have to be faced with hard decisions, because this digital ID is going to lead up to the MOTB, man. This thing is coming fast. Okay, so check this out.
In our countries, no one can walk the streets with a mask on their face or drive a car without a license plate. No one can send packages without showing an ID or buy a hunting weapon without giving their name. And yet, we are allowing people to roam freely on social networks without linking their profiles to a real identity. This paving the way for misinformation, hate speech, and cyber harassment, because it is facilitating the use of bots, and it is allowing people to act without being held accountable for their actions. Such an anomaly cannot continue. In a democracy, citizens have the right to privacy, not to anonymity or impunity, because with those two, social coexistence would be impossible. That is why I believe we must push forward the principle of pseudonymity as the functioning element of social media, and force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet. This way, citizens could use nicknames if they want, but in the case of a crime, public authorities will be able to connect those nicknames to real people and hold them responsible. Because accountability is not an obstacle to freedom of speech. It is an essential complement to it.
Well, many have started paying for things with our phones, even watches.
One company, though, wants to take that technology to another level by implanting a chip in your hand. So, the overseas company Wallet...
See, man, what can you say, man? We are here, bruh. We are here, man. All right, and he says, like, you're going to be linked to a digital ID, your social media, your passport, your shot status, all these different things are gonna be linked to your digital ID. So you're not gonna be on the internet, saying things and not being held accountable for it, man. So think about that. They're gonna come down on the man of the Lord, man. All right, because we speak against wickedness. And who sits in the seat? Who sits in the throne right now? Who sits on the throne? Who has the dominion right now, man? Esau, Edom. And so when we speak about them, and against them, right? We become what? Enemies. We become an offender for a word. Okay? Look at this, man. Come on, man. Look at this, bro. I mean, what are we still denying that, the MOTB is not the C hip, man?
More is selling the microchip in parts of Europe. It's about the size of a grain of rice.
If they're going to make the digital ID mandatory, right, and Bill Gates says that the phones will be a thing of the past, right, and all of these things are, all these things can be on your phone, but it's gonna be a thing of the past, and they make it, and these things are coming out, man. Come on, man.
Goes under the skin. It's then activated using a digital wallet app. The chip is going for about $300, and the company says at least 200 people have gotten them implanted already. I would have many questions for a doctor about that.
Yeah, how healthy
Didn't look
is
very
that
micro, did it?
No, it was pretty big.
It was a pretty big chip.
I mean, a paper cut hurts. You're gonna put a thing like that, in your
What happens
hand.
if you have to change banks? You gotta get that
Right,
thing
you gotta
and put
change it
back
out.
in. I don't know. I ain't interested in it. Keep it away from me.
I was just
See, but they're going to all receive this, man. They're gonna all receive this, bro. Think about this. Let me bring this back. I'm not gonna play it, but these is all policies that this devil is dishing out, man. Okay, it's all part of that agenda.
Food, travel, internet, social media, communications, energy usage requires a valid digital ID, without which you are locked out. This has already happened in China and actually a lot of Asian countries. 86 million people in Vietnam have lost their bank accounts because they refuse to comply with digital ID. Okay, so we are seeing this already, and there's other countries. In China, hundreds of thousands of people are basically, they have nothing. They're just out on the streets because they lost all of their social currency, meaning they can't function in society anymore. These are people who've had digital ID, but because they did not like what they were posting and things that they were doing, or they didn't meet certain requirements, these were just working, healthy people, not criminals or anything like that. And then when I show you what is being said here and done here in comparison, it's going to shock a lot of you. So let's continue. Once that situation is in place, the conditions of validity can be set to whatever they want. Didn't take the latest experimental mRNA vaccine? Digital ID invalid. Posted misinformation on social media? Digital ID invalid. Social credit score too low? Digital ID invalid. Exceeded your carbon allowance this month? Digital ID invalid. Voice criticism of your new technocratic overlords? Digital ID invalid. If we allow our governments to succeed in rolling out digital ID,
So you're not gonna be able to say anything against the government. You're gonna have to comply with everything that this devil puts out, man. All right, in order to be a part of society.
we will end up living in a giant open air digital prison from which it will be virtually impossible to ever escape. So I've told you guys that we are in the end times. This is it. When you compare what I told you about what's going on in Jerusalem, building of the third temple, just the laws that are being put in place, these things that are secretly
Fair use. This is fair use.
working behind the scenes, the 2.5 trillion spent in just a couple of months for these for Project Stargate, the huge AI data spaces, data centers that are going up all over the country. 2.5 trillion, something none of us asked for. We don't need that kind of power for anything right now unless there will be 100% surveillance on every single American. This is going to be worldwide. There's no place that you're going to be able to go to escape. Let me just say this clearly. Every country is rolling this out, from third world countries to the US, the UK, Canada, all of that. Okay? So there's nowhere to hide. I told you, you're not going to be able to, fight against the government. They're doing that in the UK right now, but they're still going ahead with it. You can protest, resist, but this is the way they want the future, and we know why.
So, in this, all of this, what we're talking about, is coming right to America. And I'll show you. Look at this. This is November the 12th, 2025. Apple introduces digital ID, a new way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet. Digital ID offers a secure and private way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information from their U.S. passport and present their ID with iPhone or Apple Watch. See? Apple today announces launch of Digital ID, a new way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information from their U.S. passport and present it with the security and privacy of iPhone or Apple Watch. At launch, Digital ID acceptance will roll out first in beta at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 airports in the U.S. for in-person identity verification during domestic travel, with additional Digital ID acceptance use cases to come in the future. Digital ID gives more people a way to create and present ID in Apple. See, you see how this devil is packing this? He's packaging this up as into peace and safety, bro. Okay? Even if they do not have real ID, compliant driver's license or state ID, digital ID is Digital ID gives more people a way to create and present an ID in Apple Watch, even if they do not have real ID, compliant driver's license or state ID. Digital ID is not a replacement for a physical passport and cannot be used for international travel or border crossing in lieu of a U.S. passport. With the digital launch of Digital ID, we're excited to expand the ways users can store and present their identity. See, I mean, you can go into this if you want, check it out. But, the scripture says, bro, we know this, bro, and we've been warning you constantly. Wait, is it 2 Corinthians 2? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, this is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant to his devices. We're never supposed to trust this devil, man. The tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He's the forger of lies, right? We understand what time that we in. We know that the days are evil, right? We know that the night is far spent, okay? And we're at the end of, Esau, Edom's rulership. So while people are sitting up here worried about getting their SNAP benefits back, he's rolling this digital ID system, across the globe, man. Right here in your face, Apple is rolling it out, man. All right? Apple is rolling this out November the 12th, man. Right here in the U.S., man. This is what's going on. Okay? And who knows? I just seen that they ended the government shutdown. It's gonna be, who knows? There may be some stipulations to that, man, to receive benefits, man. Things are changing and things are changing fast, man. But we know that this devil, he means no good, bro. He means no good, and we know exactly, what we dealing with here. This is Daniel's 8 and 25. It says, through his policies also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He's packaging this digital ID system out as if though it's going to bring peace, safety, and security, to individuals. But this really is, a snare and a trap, okay? To get you to fall into, what's to come, which is this MOTB, man. Here it is. Jake is all tripped out, and we get $200,000 for stimulus check, but you didn't pay, more than that in tariffs, man. He ain't such a bad guy. You an idiot, man. Okay. This is the devil, man. This dude brings out the snake story all the time, man. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hands. Because we understand what time that we in. Because we know that according to Psalms, the 37th chapter, 37 and 12, the wicked plotted against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. Because really and truly, this devil, he really have a bone to pick with the men of the Lord. That's warning, right? That's feeding the flock with wisdom and knowledge. He wants us to shut up, okay? That's why he wants to regulate the internet, man, okay? To demonize us as terrorists. Right? So think about going through this situation here. Think about going through, all of these things that's coming. That's right here. That's like, it's not, this is not a time afar off. This is not, not happening in our lifetime, right? According to the book of Ezekiel, the 12th chapter. These things are happening right now. Now think about going through that without, any protection. Going through that by yourself. Because the ways of Babylon was too enticing. The thought that you just couldn't see past your own demonistic ways, man. Or you over here calling on a different name. Or, you over here, your whole existence is now to scoff against the men of the Lord. To try to prove that they wrong, right? This devil is coming down with great wrath, man. Right? And he ain't gonna play, man. The Lord not gonna let him play, because that's things that need to happen, man. Maybe Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands." You see? This is Esau Edom, man. He devised iniquity and work evil. He can't go to sleep without knowing that he's trying to push forth this agenda to bring society in a technocracy, to push forth his MOTB, man. Right, this digital prison, okay, and he put forth all these policies, man. Okay. So, like I said, we understand where this is leading to. Revelation, the 13th chapter. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, man, to receive a charagma, right, in their right hand of their forehead, that they might not buy or sell. This is what it's coming to, right? Apple, look, introduce digital ID, a new way to create. See, we understand. We like, he's packaging this to make it seem like it's convenient for you. But this is going into, this is leading you down a rabbit hole of destruction, man. All right? It's going to have you jacked up, man. Okay? We understand what this digital ID is going to be linked to. The MOTB. Right? Let me see. When you go down here, look. The following information will be presented: legal name, birthday, sex, nationality, ID number, verified, expiration date, photo ID, all these different things, man. This is what it's coming to, man. So they doing it in Canada, they doing it in China, they doing it in the UK, man, and all these different, countries that's in league with, the beast system, man. All right, they're all doing the same thing, all right, and here it is, right here in America, man. Okay. So we seeing this and we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. So Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.